Bet on fantasy football against real people with BetMate and win cash prizes with a £100 free-to-play pot available for new customers. Pick your team with no budget restrictions and earn points for typical fantasy actions, as well as tackles and interceptions. Download the app today for free via the link in the description and play against me. A score of 42 points in Gameweek 6 has seen a drop down to 267k. It started with a frustrating early kickoff on Saturday, where Liverpool kept their second clean sheet of the season, only for Jurgen Klopp to rotate his fullbacks. Robertson started on the bench, while Alexander-Arnold was subbed off in the 59th minute. But the decision to bring in Kieran Trippier for Ivan Perisic immediately paid off, after Newcastle drew 0-0 with Crystal Palace. Only Spurs and Man City recorded a lower expected goals conceded figure during the game week. There were no returns across the midfield three, though Mohamed Salah struck the post late on against Everton, while Arsenal's defeat to Man United saw Gabriel Martinelli have an early goal ruled out by VAR. Pedro Neto recorded his third big chance involvement of the season against Southampton, but is still without a goal or assist. So the only return besides Trippier's clean sheet came from the inevitable Erling Haaland, who found the net for a fourth successive match. The Norwegian saw two further efforts saved and created a big chance that was missed by De Bruyne. Now let's take a look at the transfer plans for Game Week 7. 2 free transfers are available, and the plan is to use them both, with a view to potentially playing the wildcard in Game Week 8. Doing so would allow me to give the Liverpool trio one final chance against Wolves this weekend, before selling all 3 ahead of some tougher fixtures. Upgrading Pedro Neto after yet another blank is the priority, but Ederson is also likely to make way in order to free up funds. Man City have kept just 1 clean sheet in the last 4 game weeks, and 4 teams have a better expected goals against value in that time. One of the teams that have fared better is Brighton, who face a Bournemouth side that have recorded the lowest expected goals value this season. Although admittedly they have improved slightly since the change in management. Aaron Ramsdale is also in my thinking, with a home fixture against Everton up next. Arsenal actually have the lowest expected goals against value in the last 4 game weeks, despite recording only 1 clean sheet in that time. The Toffees have scored 4 goals so far this season, with only West Ham and Wolves managing fewer. Downgrading to Sanchez would give me 6.5 million to spend on a midfielder to replace Neto, and that would bring into consideration all 3 targets from yesterday's watchlist video. Leeds have arguably the strongest fixture on paper. Nottingham Forest have averaged 2.1 expected goals conceded per game this season, with no team faring worse. Luis Sinisterra is the one I'm most tempted by, but it's still early days for him, as he continues to adapt to a new club and a new league. The Colombian has scored in consecutive matches, but both were low XG shots from outside the box, so it's a case of whether he can continue to outperform his expected goals. Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson are cheaper alternatives that would enable me to go for Ramsdale. But Marcus Rashford is coming into some form, and is someone I'd be potentially interested in holding even on my wildcard. That's providing he's fit, after appearing to hold his hamstring when he was subbed off against Arsenal. United have won 4 on the bounce, and Crystal Palace rank 3rd worst for expected goals conceded this season, with only Fulham and Nottingham Forest faring worse. The issue with the 6.5 midfield options though is that I have the exact cash to bring them in, along with Sanchez, and I can't really move for Rashford until we get an update on his injury situation. So if I do get priced out, that may twist me into opting for Harrison and Ramsdale instead. I'm still undecided on which combo to bring in, but I'm leaning towards Sanchez and Rashford as it stands. So Ederson and Neto to Sanchez and Rashford are my potential transfers this week, and here's how the team is set to line up. There'll be a new face between the sticks this game week, whether Sanchez or Ramsdale. But I'll almost certainly be targeting Nick Pope as my long-term goalkeeper when I eventually come to play the wildcard in Game Week 8 or 9. Brighton have conceded just 7 big chances this season, with only Spurs faring better. It's an unchanged back 5, with the Liverpool double-up getting 1 last chance. Wolves have scored just 3 goals this season, ranking joint bottom with West Ham. They've averaged 0.97 expected goals per game in the last 4 game weeks, with only West Ham, Bournemouth and Aston Villa posing less of a threat. I'm happy with the 3 remaining defenders, I can see each of them keeping their places when I play the wildcard. Reece James ranks second for expected assists amongst defenders, only behind Pascal Stroke, while Kieran Trippier trails only Alexander-Arnold for attempted assists. No defender has amassed as many points so far as João Cancelo with 33. Gabriel Martinelli has been a fantastic asset so far, but Arsenal's fixtures take a turn for the worse after Gameweek 8. No midfielder has taken as many as his 17 shots in the last 4 game weeks, while only Anthony Gordon has landed more on target. Only Salah has taken more touches in the opposition penalty box. The Egyptian has fired 10 shots in the box over the last 4 game weeks, a tally which ranks joint top with 4 other midfielders, including Martinelli and Diaz. No player across all positions has fashioned as many as his 15 attempted assists in that time, but none of those have been deemed big chances created. Keeping 3 clean sheets, Wolves have conceded an average of just 1.1 expected goals per game this season, with only 4 teams faring better. Gabriel Jesus can perhaps rival Haaland for the armband this game week, depending on the Norwegian's minutes in midweek. Jesus has collected 3 goals and 2 assists across 3 home matches so far this season, averaging 8.7 points per game. No forward has fired as many as his 15 shots in home matches, all of which came from inside the box. But Erling Haaland is yet to blank since his arrival in the Premier League, and has got on the score sheet in 5 out of 6 matches. So unless there's any reason to doubt his minutes at the weekend, he's made himself the default captain choice for the time being. Spurs have conceded only 4 big chances this season, but all of them have come away from home. They rank 7th for expected goals conceded on the road, compared to 2nd at home.